Hey sis, have you ever gone through so much emotionally that part of you is thinking maybe I just need to stop caring so much. Maybe I just care too much. Maybe you've been hurt or disappointed or emotionally just drained. Maybe you've been betrayed or just exhausted from constantly giving to people. You're just tired. And now it's like part of you just wants some peace. You're just tired. But then it's like another part of you is afraid that healing means maybe you have to become cold. And you don't really want to become cold, but at the same time you're tired of people taking advantage of you and just mistreating you and the betrayals and the disappointments and stuff like that. And if that's you, let's talk about it. My name's Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, life coach, and mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. And if any part of this message touches you or resonates with you, please like and subscribe if this is your cup of tea. So let's get back into it, okay? So healing is not supposed to turn you into something or somebody that's just like a hardened person. That's not what healing's about, okay? It's supposed to teach you though, wisdom, discernment, make sure you have some boundaries in place, emotional safety. It's supposed to teach all that kind of stuff without losing your heart though. Because remember, out of the heart flows the issues of life. So, everything, our heart plays a role in everything. And so, you don't want to just have your heart be hardened, okay? But let's talk about why this happens in the first place, why we get to the point where we're just tired from helping everybody, tired of people betraying you, talking about you behind your back, or all kinds of stuff, just tired of it. So, a lot of empathetic people, they eventually reach emotional exhaustion. And empathetic people are people that's just very giving, very caring, care about everybody, want to make sure everything is all right, keep the peace, want to make sure everything's cool, calm, and collected. You will go through great lengths to make sure people, de-stressed and do anything to take the load off everybody else. But in process of that, sometimes empathetic people suffer. And so a lot of empathetic people, what happens is, like I said, they eventually reach emotional exhaustion. And so, especially though, if they spent years over giving, over helping, over explaining, over carrying, or even trying to save unemotionally, even trying to save people that's emotionally unavailable, that plays into it too. And then also eventually what happens is it's like their nervous system, it gets overwhelmed. You could be just overwhelmed from trying to do all that stuff. So what happens then is emotionally you may start craving protection because now you don't feel protected because you overgave and stuff like that. Now you feel depleted. So now you need protection. And so sometimes people, what happens is they confuse healing with emotional shutdown. Because it's not the same thing. Healing and emotional shutdown is not the same thing. And so let me give you an analogy because y'all know I like always giving examples. It's somebody leaving the door to their house wide open for years and constantly getting hurt by whatever debris, like if it's a storm, a whirlwind of a storm, and winds are blowing, or a tornado or something like that, because your door is open, all the debris and stuff is coming through, and so you're getting hurt by like whatever enters in that door, right? And so healing is not burning a whole house down. Healing is learning, like, okay, how to lock the door wisely. Just close the door, but how do I close it and lock it wisely so all the debris doesn't come in? How do I, who do I give access to my house? Who do I open the door for? That's giving access. And when peace needs protection, when do you need to protect your peace? Okay? And so it's not, healing's not burning a whole house down, because that's different. Just saying forget it, I'm just shutting the door, I'm just gonna burn a whole house down, and the door being open, all this debris in here I'm tired of just all this clutter, I'm just gonna burn it out. No, it's just kind of working through it. Okay, so let's talk about, if you are hardened already or you're on the verge of getting hardened, this is what it could look like. Okay, sometimes, like after emotional pain, it could be like, people could begin to, or if this is you could begin to like start shutting down emotionally, just shutting it all down. You could start like distrusting people, like you don't even have trust in people anymore. Or you could start avoiding vulnerable moments, because you've been so vulnerable and put yourself out there so much, and then each time you've been disappointed, so you could just be avoiding any type of vulnerability at all. Or you could become emotionally unavailable to yourself. So not only have you become, you could become emotionally unavailable to other people, but in turn you could also start like doing that to yourself, not being available for your own self. Because what happens is, it's like emotionally, the nervous system is trying to avoid getting hurt again. It's always trying to protect you, right? And so while that reaction is understandable, staying emotionally hardened, these are the things it can block. Okay, it can block healthy love, because you can have a blessing waiting for you, but if you've already shut down because of the pain, the betrayal, the disappointments, you're never going to see your blessing, because you've already shut down and closed the door and locked it, or burned the whole house down, because now you got rid of the house, and so there's nothing for them to come into, right? You could have holding back. You could be, hardened and miss out on like a safe connection. You could miss out on your peace. You could also miss out on healing, like the all the stuff, that the hurt, if you just shut down and just close everything off. Okay, so let's talk about what true healing looks like, though. It says, like, if you have true healing, it says, I can still be compassionate without abandoning myself. I can still love people without caring for everybody. I can still have empathy without ignoring the patterns. And that puts you on a road, and you have, emotional uh, maturity. Because once you start recognizing those things and saying, I could do this and I could do that, now it's like you're waking up and it's like, okay, I can do this, Melinda. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna just lock the door altogether, but I'm just gonna, walk through these steps and have compassion. But I'm also gonna make sure I have some boundaries. I'm not gonna take on everybody's stress, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about when you are, going through all that stuff, and the effects of it, and how it affects you internally, when you've like gone through all the betrayal, and been helping everybody for so long, feeling so tired now and just down. What happens is, after emotional pain, your nervous system naturally wants to protection, right? And so, but the thing is that healing teaches our body that boundaries can create safety without needing complete emotional shutdown. So your boundaries can, what they do is protect the safety without having you completely shut down. Okay? So your mind may say stuff like, I don't want to get hurt again. But healing, what it does is it teaches us that I can protect my peace without losing my softness. I can protect my peace without losing my softness. And at just understand this too, because this is important. Compassion and discernment are supposed to work together. Compassion and discernment, they're supposed to work together, okay? Because compassion without discernment becomes self sacrifice. You sacrifice yourself. That's why it's supposed to work together. But the thing is that discernment without compassion can become bitterness. Remember, I said you don't want to be resentful, and you definitely don't want to be bitter, because discernment without compassion can become bitterness. And so healing is the balance in between a soft heart and a wide having wise boundaries. That's how you know like you're healing. I'm gonna have these boundaries. I'm still gonna be compassionate. I'm still gonna care for people, but I'm gonna put these boundaries in place and I'm gonna follow through on them. Okay, and that's where your peace lies. And just remember, like Jesus was compassionate. Jesus was compassionate, but he also practiced boundaries. And so he loved people deeply without allowing everyone full access to him all the time. Okay? And that matters because God never even asked you to become cold or hardened, though. That's not the answer, becoming cold and hardened. Because why? Because that's going to change who you are as a person, and that's not who you are. So you don't want to change the core of who you are just because, I mean, not just because even though you've been through a lot, it is a lot. But still, you don't want to change the core of who you are, and you don't want to block your blessings. Okay? But he does want you to grow in wisdom. And so if you've ever been afraid that healing might turn you into somebody cold, just understand and hear this. Like, it's not about, healing is not about hardening your heart, but it is about learning who deserves access to it. You don't have to harden it, but everybody don't deserve access to it. Okay? And so real healing, what it does is it allows you to stay compassionate, stay loving, stay kind, while finally also protecting your peace too. You can stay loving, kind, compassionate, but also protect your peace. And so if this message helped you, please like and subscribe. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness. Have a great day. Bye.